Welcome to another episode of the Pocket Parlay podcast. It is January 23rd, and we are down to four teams in the NFL. I'm your host, Will Maynard, joined by my two favorite co-hosts, Mr. Zachary Mishik, Mr. Ryan Head. How are we doing today, boys?
I want to ask you how you're doing. You seem a little down in the dumps.
You
What's
do
going
seem a little
on?
down. What's wrong?
We're recording this the day of the Terry Rozier trade in the NBA. We have not talked a lot about NBA. Those episodes will come out soon. We'll talk about all the trades. With this one, just a little sad for Hornets fans.
Give me a
Um,
quick take on it. We got four teams left in the playoffs.
well, I mean, not the package I wanted to get for Terry Rozier, but a first round pick is something, and an expiring contract for Miami. I mean, they basically got a steal, someone who can actually score, shoot from the outside. Um, yeah, I mean that's really my take. It's we're
I've seen
looking
that
to
they're
fill.
gonna keep selling too. Like they're gonna sell Nick Richards and PJ.
Yep, this is the start of the sell. My preseason take of Hornets being a top six seed in the East. So bad, down the drain. I don't think people realize this either. Terry Rozier finished his stint in Charlotte as the fifth leading scorer all time in Hornets history, which says probably more about the Hornets than it does
Yeah,
about Terry.
I would say.
yeah.
He will be. I mean, he'll be remembered by all Hornets fans. So next, I hope PJ's next. I'll trade him for a bag of chips. He sucks. So
We have bags of
We'll
chips in
take
Dallas.
them for a we'll
We'll
take them
take
for a
some
bag of
bags
chips.
of chips.
I'm very much hoping that he goes to Dallas so that I can finally hear from both of y'all when he
Yeah.
plays like absolute dog shit, and
He's
y'all
gonna be
text
our
him.
backup four. Play like 15 minutes a game.
If he's getting more
And
minutes than Maxi, because after last night, Maxi like really just pissed me off.
I
He's
promise you,
done.
if he gets 15 minutes a game, he'll score probably 6 points a game on 39% from the field.
Hey, I have a culture guy for you that the Mavs could send. He's really
I
good. He's on his media campaign right now. Grant Williams. He's on the
yeah,
trade block. He would be
I'm
perfect. He's a
I'm
I'm
gonna
team
keep
guy.
Grant.
He's a rah-rah. He's perfect.
I honestly don't think there's anything Dallas can really offer for PJ, considering wanting to build up young assets and picks. And you're
Hardy.
not. Yeah, no offense. Don't want Hardy. Nick Smith Jr. is already better than him.
You might not want him, but
They already have Nick Smith Jr.
I don't think y'all. I don't even know what y'all need. Y'all need Brandon, whatever, to like play more.
Brandon Miller.
I mean, he's put three straight 20-point games. No one wants to cover it because he's not Victor or Chet. So it'll be okay. We'll the Hornets will live another day. Well, really next season because the season is already over. Yay. But let's not talk basketball anymore. It's football time. We're down to the last four teams. We're gonna talk about the games that just happened first, obviously. Um, let's start off with Texans and Ravens. Y'all both had Texans. Y'all are correct. First off, you got to give him his props. Ryan went 4 for 4 this week, so now he's no longer in last place. That'll be me.
Go. Let's go.
Um, so Ryan, why don't you start us off then with why? Well, I mean, this game go as expected for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to see CJ make it this far, but this Ravens team is built to be a Super Bowl, at least contender, if not winner, at this point. I've got eh, them versus the 49ers. I don't know. I think that 49ers Lions game is going to be interesting. We'll talk about that. But I feel like no matter who the Ravens play in the Super Bowl, assuming they make it, they should be the favorite. It's a really good team. But the Texans got as far as they could. I think it's a successful season. New head coach, new quarterback, uh, a lot of new weapons on the offense. Will Anderson, like they're still piecing it together. They'll be even better next year. But yeah, the game went as expected.
I'm assuming you meant to say on the defense, Will Anderson.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I got you. I got you. Zach, do you have any real takeaways from this? This felt like the more predictable result from the entire weekend. So
Honestly, going into halftime, I was like, dang, CJ
Yeah,
Stroud has a shot. And then I forget if it was first half or second half where I think Petrie almost had an interception, and then Lamar Jackson did the QB draw for a touchdown. It was closer than it should have been. Like their offense did not look as good as I thought. I don't know if that speaks more of like Lamar in the playoffs or if it speaks about D'Amico Ryan's defense. And Houston was giving away this game. How many times were they like going off sides or false start or just
yeah,
having these pre-snap penalties that were just putting CJ Stroud back 5 yards behind from
I don't
first and
know.
I'm
Really quick, I thought the offense for the Ravens looked fine. Like
yeah. I don't
Lamar
know.
was running the ball. Like he had a couple chunk run plays, which he's done less this season than in years past, but like instinct and bad defense, and he's pulling out the old stuff. I don't know. I thought the Ravens offense looked good. I don't have a whole lot of questions about it.
I was
I
more
honestly
about the
think
first
that
half.
first half. Well, I think that first half part of it though was like we talked about last week, rest versus rust. You know, they hadn't like the first team offense hadn't really played in 2 weeks basically. They kind of had to shake that off in second half. I feel like that's the Ravens we're going to see kind of going forward, that dominant. But I did have the Texans off pure vibes for C.J. Stroud, and he didn't really like play in a way that made me think any worse of him.
Mm-mm.
But this was just like top to bottom a better team than the Texans. And
Maturity
then
is a big part.
yeah, I think I kind of look at the Texans and the Packers the same way. Like they're both playing with house money. No one expected them to get this far, so you have nothing to lose and all to gain. But this Ravens team really showed they're ready to be the contender. And next week against the Ravens or against the Chiefs, going to be hell of a game.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be
Um, yeah. So then moving forward to the next game, I believe it was the Packers and the 49ers. I'm sure as Cowboy fans, y'all were sitting there just dying seeing Jordan Love kind of ball out for most of that game.
I was split. I didn't know how to feel about the game. Like I didn't know who to cheer for. It's like two of my or like worst enemies like for the past few years with Aaron Rodgers always tearing us up and then 49ers just killing our joy. I didn't know how to feel.
I had a question for y'all. Do y'all think that for most of the game, Jordan Love played better than Brock Purdy?
Yeah.
I think
Brock
Brock
Purdy didn't play that well.
yeah, he didn't have a good game until the last
He,
drive.
really
That,
quick,
that,
Maynard, that is a delightful painting that you have. I didn't see
Oh,
it earlier, but it
thank
looks
you.
nice.
I
Very
appreciate that.
abstract. Uh,
Trying to
Continuing,
spruce
no,
it
I
up.
don't think Brock Purdy played well at all. Usually he's the guy that you expect to make no mistakes. He's not going to make the huge flashy plays, but he's going to find a way to get it in Debo or Kittle or McCaffrey's hands, and they make the special stuff happen. And then this past week, we saw a not very good Green Bay defense hold that offense in check the entire game. I don't know. I just think I think Purdy was struggling, and I don't expect to see it again this next week, but
rain's
it
involved.
was surprising.
That weather definitely played a factor because
Yeah,
the
I
last
agree. Yeah.
played a bad game. I think it was against Cleveland Browns whenever it was bad weather too. But he still both games he led game winning drives, and that's I think what's the difference in him and like some other mediocre quarterback. So
Like Dak. Yeah. Sorry, I had to throw that shot out there. I do have a quick question. Do y'all think if Debo doesn't play, like how much drop in percentage chance of winning do you give the 49ers? Because he was like once he went out, it felt like the Packers really had a bigger shot in this game.
yeah, you go. I don't know, Ryan. I'm thinking.
No, I didn't. I wasn't even listening to the question. I was expecting you to lay out on them.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I have no idea what you asked.
Can't argue.
okay. Let me. So if Debo had the shoulder injury Sunday, if he doesn't play against Detroit this Sunday, like how your confidence, how much does it lower knowing that there's no Debo?
For me, I mean, that's pretty big. I almost, I'm pretty split on Lions versus 49ers, even assuming that Debo is there. Lions have been playing good football and the 49ers are coming off a win.
Zach, can you hear him?
No.
All right, Ryan, you got some technical difficulties going on here.
But
That's hilarious. You want to
I
try and
don't know
talk,
if whenever we
Ryan?
get back to our local broadcast.
Yeah,
Honestly, no, I don't think it's that big of a hit. I think they have weapons all around. I think whenever they come back for the Super Bowl against Baltimore Ravens, that would be the big thing. Do you think how big of a belief do you have in Detroit going
I,
in?
I, I mean, when we
Little look ahead.
the podcast that we weren't able to release due to technical issues, and we did our little bracket. My final was Detroit versus Baltimore. So I have all the belief in the world with Lions. Sneak peek, I'm gonna pick the Lions against San Francisco this week.
What's your
Um,
analysis? Like why so?
I just think this is I feel like the 49ers defense is so good at about taking away the big plays. And this is not a Lions team that has to rely on those. Like, I mean, I don't know how many times we saw against the Buccaneers those like 10, 15-yard dig routes to Amon Ra and then let him rack up the yak yards. And they can just keep doing that with Laporta. Laporta's like kind of broke out to, I feel like next year we might talk about him being like a top 5 tight end going into next year. And then Jameer Gibbs and Craig Reynolds. Like shout out to him because he was kind of I forgot about him, but he's had a really really good playoff run so far. So I think they just have all the weapons, and if Debo, especially if Debo doesn't play, like Brock Purdy is not the difference maker for the 49ers. Like he's a game manager, and he allows his weapons around him to do all the work for him. And you take away one of the best weapons he has, I think they're going to struggle a little bit.
I think home field advantage is. I don't know what the weather's looking like there. He definitely suffers in bad weather. I think they would rather go play in Detroit, to be honest, just be dome and let the weapons speak for themselves. So I still think 49ers is better team on paper and has better coach.
Yeah.
And Brock Purdy is just not the better quarterback. So I think that's just the difference. If you just get an average Brock Purdy, they're still better.
On paper, but vibes again. Team of
Vibes.
Destiny vibes.
Spread it.
Ryan,
Can you hear me?
Are you
yeah,
three
we
and
can hear you now.
Are you 0-3 on vibes pick? Or are you 1-2? Or 1
I
and
think
3?
I think I'm 1-2. I think I'm 1-2 on vibes pick. Vibes pick.
You picked
I think I'm
Detroit.
gonna be 1-1. Oh no, yeah, I had Detroit correct, and then I got Houston incorrect. So I'm 1-1.
Okay. All right.
And I'm gonna stick with the vibe of the Detroit Lions.
It's a good vibe. I wish it was a home game. I really do, just because I want to see how electric that place gets. That's like the true home crowd. Been waiting for this for so long that
Yeah.
me Cowboys fans are jealous of.
I did see someone posted the Lions have been 0-16 and have reached the NFC Championship game before the Cowboys have reached the NFC Championship game again.
Yeah.
They're just
Haven't
always taking shots, y'all.
always. I mean,
It is true though.
ESPN did their best like numbers days or day ever in ESPN history of like first take and all those the day after Cowboys lost. First take record numbers, Pat McAfee record numbers, just because they were pumping out Cowboys content.
Yeah, they know
Just,
they're gonna shit on y'all.
it's just America's team, love and hate him.
No. I think y'all are losing the America. Like America's like favorite team to hate. Like it's like an annual tradition. It's like Christmas at this
America's
point.
team, you get the most hate and you get the most love. If Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, we would have the greatest numbers ever of a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
That's-
y'all have all the Yankees fans, all the Lakers fans, just all
Yeah.
coming to rally around the Cowboys. That's not what America. That's not the American dream.
What's America's team then? What is America's team? Who is it? Is it Kansas City Chiefs now? Because that's
No.
The Chargers.
I think it's whoever America rallies around. I think the Browns were America's team for a little while. Like the
yeah,
Texans.
Deshaun
Oh
Watson.
my
We love that.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring
I'm
him
talking
back.
about like the Baker years. And now I feel like Houston was
They've
America's
been
team.
dog shit for 20 years.
Yeah, America was
They're
rooting
not
for them.
America's team. They're
Actually,
a
this
dumpster fire
season,
of a franchise. They've been
this
good for
season,
like 2 years now.
no. This season, the Detroit Lions are America's team. I think if at the beginning of the playoffs, if you polled who would you want to see win a Super Bowl, and they put every single team, I think the Lions are number one. People love Dan Campbell. They love this team. It's the best story. They get to be America's team.
Ultimate football guy team, but it's not America's team. Let's see what the numbers say. Whenever it's Baltimore versus Detroit in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl, I bet you it'll be a low rating Super Bowl.
Yeah.
People will watch Usher more than they watch the game.
That is total cap. Usher has not been popular for like 15 years. All right, people are coming to see Jared Goff, Eminem on the sideline. All right,
You mean
mom
Ninja?
spaghetti. Yeah, Eminem and Ninja side by side eating some mom spaghetti. All right, but we got to get on to these next couple of games here because these were the best games of the weekend. The Lions and Buccaneers. Zach, we got these right. Or no, sorry, me and Ryan got these right. Zach, you missed this one. So what happened in this game that like you did not predict that made the Buccaneers come out as losers?
I think they had a lot of injuries, but you got to play through those kind of thing. Baker Mayfield throwing that last pick that really sucked. I think he was put in a position to win the game. He had the opportunity, and how are the Lions that good if they let like a Baker Mayfield team like get there? Baker Mayfield's not good. Like the other side, you're gonna have Lamar Jackson or I guess Brock Purdy, but how? I just don't see Tampa Bay being that good of a team, and they stuck with them the whole game. It seemed like.
I mean, Tampa Bay won their division and beat the Eagles. Playoff football is always closer than it should, or usually it's closer than it should be. And it felt like Detroit kind of felt like they were in the lead for most of the game, kind of had control of most of the game. I will say,
I got one more point. Is Mike Evans the most underrated like wide receiver? Like
100%.
Just any quarterback. It's like D-Hop back in Houston, where any quarterback can just be 1,000, or any quarterback, he'll be 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, he's definitely the most underrated. Probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. He'll go in the Hall of Fame, and all these new NFL fans will be like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah,
but I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion. Has he led the league in receiving yards one year? I feel like he has to.
I don't know, but he has like 7 1,000-yard receiving, 1,000-yard seasons. 9?
I think it's 9 now. I think this was his 9th.
I mean, yeah,
it's like insane.
Yeah.
The fact he should just whenever they like submit the applications to the Hall of Fame, he should just put I had 1,000 yards with Jameis Winston and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
that should get you into the Hall of Fame right there.
But what do you think? What was the game changer of this Detroit game? Like, why do you think Detroit is gonna like somehow they skidded by this game off of a pick? How are they just gonna go and like beat up on the 49ers, who have been the best team all year?
I mean, I just think this offense feels unstoppable, in my opinion. Amon-Ra, Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery, everyone does their job, and this is one of the best offensive lines in football. Shout out Frank Ragnow.
Yeah.
Jared Goff has been to the Super Bowl before, so this isn't like a unexperienced team. You know, I just have that belief that Dan Campbell knows how to motivate his guys, and motivating your guys in the playoffs. What Ryan's making a face, but I just feel that
vibes guy. This is
dumb. That's so dumb. They're gonna win because their coach is gonna motivate them.
Listen, the guy
and
came on
the other side. They're just gonna say, "It's all good."
No, like listen. All I'm gonna say is, all right, came in here 3 years ago talking about bite kneecaps off. All right, Baker Mayfield don't have kneecaps anymore. All right, Matthew Stafford don't have kneecaps anymore, and Brock Purdy's next. So I think their defense is a little underrated. Aiden Hutchinson's good. And outside of Trent Williams, San Francisco's offensive line is not that good outside of Trent Williams. Their grades have not been great, and I just think they can dial up some blitzes. And I think Jack Campbell, Aiden Hutchinson, C.J. Gardner Johnson, yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think this game was a toss up, but if I'm gonna go off a toss up, I'm going with the vibes.
What are we gonna
So
get first? What are the odds? Are we gonna get a dirty safety hit on who's the guy on George Kittle to the kneecaps, or are we gonna get a dumb play call by a dumb play call by Dan Campbell? Like whenever it's like 4th and 12, he's like, I'm gonna go for it.
hey,
Which one's more likely? I mean,
probably the dirty hit. But
dirty.
I don't even think some of those hits are dirty because they keep finding all these players for hitting high and said they're defenseless. So if I was him, I'd do the same thing. I don't want to get fined for hitting someone like I would normally hit in a football game, so I'll go for the knees.
I remember Larry Fitzgerald used to like pay the guys fines. He's like, "Do not hit me in the legs. I will pay your fine if you hit me in the head." Just because.
Well, let's do
Ryan,
that. And Ryan's muted again, so take off the damn headset. Right, you look like you work for customer service, nerd. There we go.
Dogs barking.
And there you go. Now it's working. I did want to ask y'all one thing about this game. We've really just spent most of this time just talking shit about teams.
dude, that's what views.
Yeah.
Use.
The Todd Bowles came out and said he didn't use his last timeout when there was like 43 seconds left. That would have forced Detroit to kick a field goal to potentially miss the field goal and get the ball back. He said he just felt that the Lions had it all wrapped up. Does that is not a football guy move in my opinion. When you have a chance to get the ball back and potentially go down and score, even if it is 30 seconds left, why not take the shot? Like, do y'all think like it's okay what he did, or it was kind of a bitch move?
I don't think he realized what. I don't think.
Yeah, I want to say he didn't realize, but that's like a horrible answer. I want to say for like a multi-billion-dollar industry, like someone
That was his answer. So
It happened
that's what I'm going off of.
They mismanaged the clock. Like we've seen that so many times where a head coach mismanages the clock. I think he said that to save himself. Not like I had no idea what was going on.
I know their Detroit kicker, was not that good from that distance. It was like a 60% chance he was making it. So like you get Baker Mayfield with 44 seconds, or probably 40 seconds if he misses it at the 40-yard line or the 50, somewhere around there.
Might have been the 35-yard line.
Yeah,
35, 40, somewhere. I mean, you still give him a chance.
And still have to go down no timeouts and 2-point conversion. Yeah. Yeah,
Also,
Rip called a +6.5 out there with them going for 2.
That was just a horrible decision.
Not a math
So
guy.
okay,
Not
moving
a
on
math.
to our last game before we preview conference championship week. The
greatest-
crown jewel, the Bills versus Chiefs. Chiefs win again. I was in hell watching this game. I have some very strong opinions after this game, but I want to hear from Mr. Ryan Head first. For one, to see if your audio is working.
Testing. Yeah, this was a really fun game to watch. Could very well be one of the better games, in my opinion, this little playoff series. Bills looked good. At the end of the day, Pat Mahomes in the playoffs showed up. The refs showed up for him. Gave him a couple calls. Dude, they don't call things. They don't call nothing on the Chiefs. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was a fun game. It sucks that the Bills didn't win. I think at the end of the day, the Chiefs just have a better team. Like the Bills over the past couple of weeks, their defense has been completely decimated. They have like nobody healthy on the defensive side of the ball. Their offensive line stinks, and Stefon Diggs decided that he doesn't know how to play football anymore. Like the Chiefs have a better O-line. They have a better defense. And honestly, Rashee Rice is playing a lot better football than Stefon Diggs apparently. So better team won, I guess, but dang, Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy seeing Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. He just seems to do it every year.
Yeah, I don't know this. I was wanting Josh Allen to win, but now I don't hate the Chiefs that much. I hate the fans more just because we went to Arkansas. We have a bunch of those, and watching some of them cry while they won the Super Bowl really, kind of pushed me to hate them. Be like, just get over it. But I don't know. I like the idea or the theory that someone's chasing Tom Brady for the greatest like athlete ever, greatest quarterback, and I love that it's Patrick Mahomes. There could be worse quarterbacks doing it, and I don't know. It's a fun storyline. I think it's all fun all around. I think Patrick Mahomes took this and he won it. I don't think Josh Allen threw it away. And I think this rivalry that they have is over. Like they had the chance in their home field. They even had the Chiefs fumble into their own or into their end zone. Like talk about hand the game to them, and they still can't do it. And also, if Tyler Bass makes that, are you telling me with Patrick Mahomes with a minute 30 or minute 40, he's not going down and winning the game anyways?
Probably, but
That's just my
kickers
thought.
kickers suck. That's one of the things I
I
took
want
away from this.
I want to hear your thoughts because I know you're a Chargers fan. You like hate the Chiefs and all that kind of stuff. How many times did
Huh?
Frankie
No,
text
no,
you all?
zero,
You
zero.
text him happy birthday?
No,
Good.
hate that guy. I hope the Chiefs lose next week. So my two key takeaways actually were not even about the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs just kind of did what the Chiefs always do in the playoffs: make big plays when it happens, and their wide receivers making idiotic plays like fumbling in the end zone. But my first takeaway was every offseason, like when we talk about like what do the Bills need offensively, it's a run game. And their run game wasn't that bad this year, and it was pretty good in the first half. And then second half, like they got stopped up a couple times. They're like, all right, well, we're just gonna go back to Josh Allen. You got to run the ball. You got to do everything for us again, like every other playoff run we've ever had, and that has never worked for him. And it feels like Josh Allen, it's like has lost a couple of these playoff games, but not this one. Like it felt like he was doing everything right. He was hitting some great shots. Um, and it just feels like the offense let him down again. And then the other takeaway was Stefon Diggs needs to get traded this offseason, honestly, because he's had drama the last couple years, yelling at Josh Allen on the sidelines, him and his brother like liking these tweets about, he made Josh Allen. I was thinking about this today, this analogy. Quarterbacks like basketball players. They're going to take a bunch of shots, and you saw they don't turn the ball over a lot, and they can, be pretty decently accurate. And then wide receivers are like baseball players. You might only step up to bat 4 or 5 times in a game, and you need to make every at bat count. And I just thought I saw that deep ball from Josh Allen to Stefon Diggs, and he drops it. It was like what, like a 50, 60 yard pass to put him at the 30-yard line. Like if you want to talk about being one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, you have to like make the play when your number's called. And outside the Minneapolis Miracle, which was luck, I don't see like a Josh Allen or Stefon Diggs moment in the playoffs that makes me think he's like one of the best receivers anymore. So I also don't think the chemistry is there with Josh Allen. Like I felt like he was force fed at the beginning of the year, just getting the ball thrown to him all the time. And over the last, I think it's like 6, 7, 8 weeks, he hasn't broke 100 yards. Josh Allen's been passing it to Kincaid, Knox, Secure, pretty much everyone else besides Stefon Diggs. So going into the offseason, if I'm the Bills, I'd be fielding calls about replacing Stefon Diggs. And if I was them, I'd try to move up in the draft and take Rome Odunze out of Washington and give Josh Allen a new shiny toy that's not going to bitch and go on Twitter. So, am I wrong in thinking this about Stefon Diggs? Do y'all think that like he still should be considered a top 3 tight or wide receiver?
No, I'm not that on the other side of you. I think it is like playoff losses amplify a lot. But he's not one of the greats, and he'll never be in that conversation. and I don't think Josh Allen will either. I think that's really where it knocks him off. Like people try to put him into these categories, and they're just not. He's not like those guys.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I agree. They probably need to move on from Stefon. He's probably going to have some stuff to say this offseason after, that loss. And he's been kind of talking all year about how, I don't know, Josh Allen and him aren't connecting. I think it makes sense that they trade him. I don't think that's unlikely.
Stefon Diggs to the Cowboys. I'm sure that's going to be a tweet here in the next couple of months. Him and Trayvon.
Yeah.
But all right, let's move on to our predictions for championship weekend. Chiefs at Ravens to start off Sunday. Baltimore's favored by 3.5. Zach, who are you taking in this?
I'm taking the better quarterback and people that been there. I'm taking the Chiefs plus 3.5. Like I think that's the smart bet. I think you better quarterback. Lamar Jackson hasn't really done anything. They beat a rookie quarterback. So I'm just taking that. That's my logic and that's my thought process on it.
Are you taking Chiefs straight up too?
Do we have to decide that?
Yes, this is the last. Okay. Ryan?
Oof, this one's so hard. I'll take the Ravens money line. But I almost want to take. I'll take the Chiefs plus 3.5. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a dogfight. But I don't know. I feel like Mahomes is going to throw an interception or two. He's playing a really, really good defense, and the Chiefs have a fine defense. But I think the Ravens are not going to have a too hard a time scoring. So, give me the Ravens money line, but I do think the Chiefs cover.
All right, I'm glad we're all different here because give me Ravens minus 3.5. You'd
Wow.
say
So far,
that.
you get my money right to a cheap.
Shut up, Justin.
Jesus Christ, what the hell, Zach?
I'm looking at the
Every
weather.
week with you, man. It's either your phone's going off, you're watching
I'm trying
some
to-
video.
Justin Herbert came up on an ad, man. I don't tell you. Guy won't get
Jesus
away
Christ.
from me.
He is beautiful. You're right, but I'm taking Baltimore minus 3.5.
Looks like good.
Said the Ravens haven't done anything besides beat a rookie quarterback. The Chiefs beat Tua in the cold, which he sucks at, and a absolutely destroyed Buffalo defense. Now going up against the best defense in the NFL and the MVP. And it's going to be at Baltimore, where things will be rowdy again. So I'll take the Ravens. And then finally, Lions, 49ers. 49ers minus 7. Kind of a hard spread for an NFC Championship game. Ryan, why don't you kick us off on this one?
49ers money line. And I think the Lions cover plus 7. That's just so many points.
A lot of points for an NFC Championship game.
And it's going to be a weather game probably. And Detroit's used to that weather. I think they keep it somewhat close. I'm pretty confident in a 49ers win, I think. But yeah, Lions cover.
I'm a guy who lost.
It's not working.
Bro, Zach, turn off the damn video.
Dude, you know the ads on fucking ESPN. I'm looking at the weather.
Why are you looking at the weather?
Hey, look
Because
at
I'm looking at
you
game
have a
time.
phone.
Wednesday.
Okay. Well, I'll just go since Zach here is doing the worst research ever. Give me Lions money line, Lions plus 7. I've been riding with them the whole playoffs. I'm not gonna stop now. It's Team of Destiny vibes, aura, any word you can think of, Riz. I don't care. I'm going Lions all day. Jared Goff, Eminem, Ninja. I can't think of anybody else famous from Detroit at the moment. Isaiah Thomas or something. Going to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas in a dome. I want to see Dan Campbell will have tears of happiness after this game. So, give me Lions.
He'll be crying.
Give me the best team in the NFC, the best team in the NFL all year, I would say. And give me the 49ers minus 7. And I pick 49ers. Better team. And let's parlay that together with a dumb Dan Campbell call.
What? Okay. I don't know where these are from the heart. All right. It's just football guy moves. You don't love football guys. You're an analytics guy. Loser. All right. So just so we can have it out there. Our Super Bowl picks. I have Lions, Ravens. Ryan, you have 49ers, or 49ers, Ravens. All right, and Zach, you have Chiefs and 49ers.
Yeah.
So we all have something different. We're gonna
We
come
gonna put
back here in a week, huh?
Are we gonna put something on the line? Loser has to buy a round.
I like that.
Fair enough. Loser has to buy a round.
All right.
All right, we'll be back next week to talk about the Lion or the this week in the NFL, and then talk about the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to talk about the Pro Bowl. It is basically like
No,
a
we won't.
YMCA basketball game.
I put my PTO in. I'm not recording that week.
Oh, cool. Okay, Zach will be on vacation. But until next time, boys.
But before you go, Maynard, I want to hear your thing about what's his name, Pete Carroll, maybe the Chargers head coach.
He
I want to
won't
hear
be. He
that
won't
3
be.
minutes.
He won't be. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You saw like a sentence from one report and decided to ask me about it, and literally I know the tweet you're talking about. Above the tweet, it says
Yeah, I'm
Jim
just.
Harbaugh and
Would you
Chargers
hate?
are.
Would you hate that though?
I would hate it. I'd rather shoot myself in the foot and walk across the desert and have Pete Carroll as my coach. No offense. When my expectations are Jim Harbaugh or Mike Variable, Pete Carroll.
Okay. I'll
No.
take. Okay, third worst. Okay, and then your
I-
GM getting hired by the Raiders. That's insane.
Yeah, Raiders, I'm so sorry for you. Good luck. Remember, this is the guy that drafted Quentin Johnston over Zay Flowers. Idiot. Bum. Loser. So,
He can put together some good personnel though on paper.
yeah, good thing, football's played on the field and not on paper. So, all right. Until next time, boys. Peace out.
Adios.